Guys, Kayla here. Welcome to my first YouTube video. I can't believe that I have enough people ask me questions or I can actually start a YouTube channel to answer them for you. That's crazy. So I am not a YouTuber professional thing by any means. So these are going to be very not scripted, and the editing is probably not going to be the best. I'm really good at PowerPoint, not whatever you use to edit videos. So I am going to be showing you today tips and tricks using PowerPoint to create, and I have 7 tips for you that I get asked all the time, like, how'd you do that? Or how did you make that work on PowerPoint? If you are just joining and you're like, why in the world is she using PowerPoint? PowerPoint is much, much easier to use to create things than Microsoft Word or Google Drive or Google Docs or Google Slides. The only reason I say no to the Google ones is you can't import your own fonts. On PowerPoint, you can import whatever fonts you want. And PowerPoint doesn't have strict formatting, so you can move things wherever you want. So you need PowerPoint in order to do this. Unless you have something else, then this won't apply to you. But PowerPoint is what I'm going to be using today. So I'm going to go ahead and start here. The first thing I want to show you is resizing a PowerPoint. Some people are like, how in the world did you get your PowerPoint to turn and look like paper? And so normally when you get a PowerPoint, it looks like this, right? And so all you have to do is go to File, Page Setup, and then you're going to change the width and the height to the dimension of paper, which is 8.5 by 11. So 8.5 by 11. Click OK. It always asks you if you want to scale it up or down. I always click scale up because it's blue. It always works for me, so that's what I do. Scale up, and now you have paper. So this is how I create every single if I'm making a worksheet or a recording sheet or anything that I'm making that I'm going to print on paper, I make it at 8.5 by 11. If I'm going to do something like a half sheet, then I still make it 8.5 by 11, and then I just split it directly in half. I would just be like, oh, let me use a line, find the halfway point, split the page in half, and then I would create on both sides of it. So that's how I do half sheets. So that's the first easy tip. If you're trying to create something you want the size of paper, File, Page Setup, change it to 8.5 by 11. The second thing is investing in fancy fonts. This is my biggest thing. If you have cute fonts, you can make something work. And so I have left 5 different people that I buy fonts from. And I know buying fonts is kind of expensive, I'm not going to lie, but once you have them, you have them. And then if you buy them as a bundle, every time they upload fonts, you will get the fonts that they, it's so weird because I'm looking at myself, but then I'm not looking at you. So it's something I've got to work on. Anyways, sorry. So if you buy it as a bundle, then you get all of the fonts every time they re-upload something or they add something else to their bundle. They'll upload it to their growing bundle, and then you'll get it, and you'll have to pay the extra money for it. So I suggest buying bundled fonts. I use Molly Jo fonts. I think I used her fonts Swish and Flick. I think throughout this entire PowerPoint. Oh yeah. I used Molly Jo fonts. They are amazing. A Perfect Blend has fonts, and she has what's called doodle fonts. I'm going to talk to you about that in a little bit. Creative Clips has clip art, and she has doodle fonts, and she might actually have fonts. I'm not sure. I have so many fonts, but I will link what I have from her in the description below. AG Fonts, this is Amy Grosbeck. Her fonts are flawless. I have her growing bundle. She updates it. It is phenomenal. So Amy Grosbeck fonts, she puts out fantastic things. And then BB fonts. This is Miss Fifth on Teachers Pay Teachers. She's now Brittany Root, but her fonts are flawless as well. She has some doodle fonts that are super, super cute. That, like, if you wanted to make them into stickers, use something, you could. So I'm going to take all of those fonts and I'll put the links to the ones I have in the description below. And they're all from TPT, Teachers Pay Teachers. So if you want them, you can go get them. All right, next up is using multiple text boxes. So lots of people, like, let's see, if I had a text box and I wanted to write, I love, wow, I can't type, teaching, okay, I'm not showing my skills very well. I love teaching third grade. I'm teaching third grade next year. I'm actually kind of scared, but like very excited. Let's say that I wanted to use this font. Okay, so lots of people just type, like this one looks good, but I like to use multiple text boxes because, like, let's say I wanted third grade to be closer up to I love teaching. I can't like move it and it does funky things. So here's how it's written if I'm only using one text box, but like, let's say I wanted love, to be, so like and then I actually want love to be in a different font. So like, let's say I actually wanted this font. Maybe I would just like go down here and press like love. I actually don't like that font with it, but let's see. Like, yeah, like I love, and then maybe I would need to make this a little bit bigger. So like, hopefully you're seeing the point. You can move things around and like almost mess with the formatting. And if you haven't noticed, I'm just pressing Command C, Command V, cut and paste. Like, instead of going up, recreating a text box, figuring out the font that I want, all that stuff, I just copy and paste a text box that's already there because it has like probably close to the size of the font that I want, and maybe it has the actual font that I want. So like, I love teaching. I love teaching. And then maybe I want to use this font from up here, this Fa La Llama. And then I can like, see, notice how I just brought it down because it already has third grade. I love teaching third grade. So like, I wrote, that's gonna hurt your ears, and I am so sorry. I don't know how to cut things out. Okay, how did that happen? It's on the ground. Anyways, I wrote the same thing here, and then I wrote the same thing here, but like this one looks better. The bottom one looks better because it has all different kinds of fonts in it, and it's just much more appealing to my eye. So use multiple text boxes because you can just mess with the formatting way easier. Okay, so copy break. All right, tip number 4. This is the one I get all the time. Recoloring your text. It's seriously so simple. So I don't know, some of you might know me, some of you might just have found this, but like, I'm obsessed with like bright rainbow. My entire classroom is like black and brights. So that's what I'm gonna do. So this is my name, or my last name, Beach. I'm going to recolor it, and I'm gonna put like some different borders around it, almost like this one. Like, I'm gonna make tricks, but I'm gonna do it on my name. Okay, so if you want to recolor something, like, obviously you can select it all, color it all the same color. Or you can do each individual letter. So like, let's say I want the V to be pink, and then I want this to be orange, yellow, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Green, blue, purple. So there's my name. And then let's say that I wanted to put some a border around it. If I go to shape format, now here's where everybody messes up. click on shape format, but then you have to click on the format pane. Now, if I do not click this button right here that says text options and I just go down to line and click solid line, and let's say I change it to black, it does a little box around the entire text box, which is not what I'm going for. So you have to click text options and then solid line. Let's say I want it to be black. Then it highlights each individual letter. I like to do like this. I like to make this really, really large. So like 10 point. Let's do it a little bigger. 15 point. Obviously, that's too big, and it takes away from the color. That just looks ridiculous. But if you take this exact thing and copy and paste it, so now I have 2 of them, I'm going to re-highlight it, and I'm going to go down here. I'm going to change my color to white, and then I'm going to do like 3 point. So now I have this. So then I can take this one and layer it over the top, and I have a super cute, oh gosh, see, look. Do y'all see it right there? The lines? I did something. Right here, no line. See how I accidentally did it under format shape first? That's what I'm talking about. So you have to make sure you're doing it under text options. Now I have this really cute recolored text. So that's how I do that. Number 5, tip 5, doodle fonts. This is something that you need to invest in. Like, you need to invest in fonts, and then you need to invest in doodle fonts. And I'm not saying do it all at the same, like, you don't have to buy them all. Like, I would just invest in a few unless you want to invest in them all, because trust me, I use them all. But doodle fonts are necessary, especially if you're making activities. Clip art works, but a lot of the time clip art is colored and then you print it on black. You print it in black and white on your copy machine, and then it's just the quality's lower. So I like to use doodle fonts, especially if I'm creating something I know that I'm going to be putting in black and white. So everything you see on here, except for like 5 dot doodle fonts, all of it's a font. So like, for instance, if I click on this down here, this is by Molly Joe Fonts, and it's called Don't Be Squared. And so if I go in here and let's say I type in the letter S, then that pops up, or P, or L, or M. So I'm typing in a letter and a font and a doodle is associated with it. Let me see if I can move this for a second. I can. So over here, I have what's called font keys. So like when you buy a bundle of fonts, most of the time if it has doodle fonts, it's going to give you a font key. So I just keep those in a folder. And let's see if I can find one really quick without showing like their entire... So a font poster. Like this is by A Perfect Blend. So like if I was using this Summer Doodles, if I went to PB Summer Doodles and I typed in B. So we're going to do that and we're going to make a popsicle. So if I go here and I change, let's change this little swirl. And I wanted to do PB okay, I don't know what it was called. A Perfect Summer? No. I lost it. That's how my brain works. It's called Summer Doodles. Like, where was I going with that? Don't know. Okay. PB Summer Doodles. And I said I was going to type in B. So I would go here. I'm going to click capital B. And now I have a popsicle. So, doodle fonts are super, super fun. This right here, Work Hard and Be Kind. Miss Fifth had like a contest and she had people like enter like tell me one of your favorite quotes, and I typed in work hard and be kind because it's like my biggest thing, and then this was made. I love it. Her doodle fonts are amazing. They're like super like aspire to inspire, you are enough, you're so sharp, do your best. They're so good. So doodle fonts are the way to go if you are trying to make something and add a little bit of flavor to it. Tip number 6, creating a border. This one's going to be so simple and it's going to seem so ridiculous, but I get questions about it all the time. So people try to like buy borders, which is fine. I mean, like if you want to buy borders and put them onto your slide and do that, that's great. But I always just do a simple border. It's just a line. Because I'm going to put all this, like, I'm going to do fancy fonts, and I'm going to do doodle fonts, maybe some clip art. And so I don't need my border to be like super fancy. I just need it to be there. I always put a border. It just makes it look nicer. So I go up to shapes. I always choose this little rectangle. And then I just draw a rectangle. There it is. Now you're like, oh, that's not, that's colored in. Yes, you're right. Under shape options, click no fill. You want a solid line. For some reason, it defaults to blue on mine. I don't know if yours will. Mine always does. So I have to change it to black. And then I have a border. Simple. That's how I create borders. And then tip number 7, group and ungroup. This one, again, you probably know how to do this, but some people ask me, like, how'd you get that to work? So, like, if I wanted to take all of this and I want to move it at the same time, like, if it wasn't grouped together, I could move teaching, and that would probably frustrate me if I was trying to get it all perfect. If you click them all together, I just, like, press shift, and then I clicked it all. You can right-click, group, and then group it all together, and then it'll all move. Now, the only problem with this is you can't make it bigger or it gets all funky. So I have a little tip to help with that. If you click and save this as a picture, I'm under YouTube resources. I love teaching. It's going to save it as a PNG, which is just a file. So let's say that I did that. Now I can delete this. And I can go find my YouTube resources. Whoa. Lots of stuff. There it is. Okay, here's my folder. Here's the I Love Teaching. If I just take it and I pull it in here, now it is an image instead of text, and I can make it bigger if I want. Or I can make it super small if I want. So if you have something that you want to make bigger or smaller, you can just save it as an image, and then there it is. Now, I do notice, I think that the text sort of was a little bit different. That's because it's a script text, so, like, notice they're not all connecting, but, like, they are up here. So I'm not really sure how to fix that yet. Maybe if I figure it out, I'll make an update, but that's what happens, but it still looks cute. So yeah, those are my 7 tips and tricks. I have tons more, but 7 is enough for right now, especially because this is probably getting long. If you have any questions or if you have something you want me to show you, write it in the comments below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe so you do not miss when I upload. I appreciate you for watching me. This is crazy. I'm so glad that I can help you guys. And thank you so much. See you next time.